The gunshot shattered. The night before Catherine even reached the barn, she didn't look back. Couldn't. Her ribs screamed with every gasping breath, and blood from the gash above her eye had frozen to her cheek. The blizzard swallowed her whole the moment she stumbled past the fence line, snow driving sideways like needles against her skin. Thomas would kill her this time. She knew it the way she knew her own heartbeat. The way his eyes had gone flat and empty when he'd wrapped his hands around her throat an hour ago. Not angry anymore, just finished with her. The prairie stretched endless and white in every direction. No landmarks, no shelter. Catherine had left everything behind except the thin nightdress beneath her stolen coat and the knowledge that freezing to death was better than going back. Her bare feet had gone numb within minutes. Now she couldn't feel her legs at all, but she kept moving through sheer animal panic. Behind her, she heard shouting, dogs barking. Thomas had discovered the empty bedroom. Catherine's lungs burned. The cold was a living thing, crushing her chest, filling her throat. She'd made it perhaps a mile, maybe less. Her vision blurred, whether from blood or snow or exhaustion she couldn't tell. She fell. The snow received her almost gently, a white grave already prepared. Catherine tried to rise, managed to get to her hands and knees before collapsing again. Her body had nothing left to give. This was how she would die. 23 years old, mail-order bride for 6 months, dead in a Dakota blizzard wearing another woman's coat. The woman Thomas had beaten to death 2 years before Catherine arrived. She found the grave behind the barn 3 weeks into her marriage. She should have run then. The wind howled. Catherine closed her eyes. At least Thomas wouldn't get the satisfaction of finishing what he'd started. At least she'd chosen this. She didn't hear the horses until they were almost on top of her. Through the curtain of snow, dark shapes materialized. Riders, moving with purpose despite the storm. Catherine's heart lurched with terror. Thomas. He'd found her, but the voices that called out weren't speaking English. Strong hands gripped her shoulders, turning her over. Catherine looked up into a face she couldn't quite focus on. Sharp cheekbones, dark eyes, long hair whipping in the wind. A man, young, wearing furs and leather. Not Thomas. Not anyone from the ranch. She tried to speak, to beg, to explain, but her jaw wouldn't work. More voices, rapid and urgent in that unfamiliar language. An argument. Catherine felt herself being lifted, and fresh panic flooded through her. She tried to fight, but her body was already shutting down. The last thing she saw before darkness claimed her was the lead rider's face as he looked down at her. An expression not of hatred or lust, but something she'd almost forgotten existed. Concern. Pain woke her. Not the sharp, sudden pain of Thomas's fists, but a deep, burning ache that spread through every muscle and bone. Catherine's eyes opened to firelight dancing across unfamiliar walls. Not wood or plaster, but something curved and organic. Hide, she realized. She was inside some kind of tent. She tried to sit up. Her body refused. Shh. The sound came from her left, gentle but firm. A woman's voice. Catherine's head turned slowly. In the firelight sat a Lakota woman, perhaps 30 years old, with kind eyes and strong hands that pressed a warm cloth to Catherine's forehead. She spoke softly in her own language, then seemed to realize Catherine couldn't understand. Instead, she made a settling gesture with her palm. Stay down. Rest. Terror should have consumed her. She was in an Indian camp, alone, helpless. Everything Thomas had told her about savages and massacres flooded back, but the woman's touch was infinitely gentler than any she'd known in her husband's house. Catherine's throat was too dry to speak. The woman seemed to understand, lifting a wooden cup to her lips. The water tasted like life itself. Over the next few minutes, Catherine's eyes adjusted enough to take in her surroundings. She lay on thick furs near a central fire. The shelter was larger than she first thought, easily 20 feet across, with a smoke hole at the top through which she could see gray winter sky. The blizzard had passed. The woman, Winona, Catherine would learn later, unwrapped the bandages around Catherine's feet. The skin was angry red and blistered, but not black. She'd keep her toes. Winona applied something that smelled of herbs and animal fat, her movements practiced and sure. Outside, voices rose in what was clearly an argument. Winona paused, listening, her expression troubled. One voice dominated the others, deep, authoritative, unyielding. The same language Catherine had heard in the snow, but now she could hear the cadence of command in it. The entrance flap opened. 3 men entered, and Catherine's heart hammered against her bruised ribs. The first was the rider who'd found her. In daylight, she could see he was younger than she thought, perhaps 25, with angular features and eyes that seemed to miss nothing. He wore his authority like a second skin. This was clearly a leader of some kind. Behind him came 2 older men, their faces deeply lined, their expressions ranging from skeptical to openly hostile. The leader, Two Hawks though, Catherine didn't know it yet, looked at her with that same unsettling concern she'd seen in the blizzard. He spoke to Winona, who responded at length, gesturing to Catherine's injuries. One of the older men barked something sharp. The word Waziku came up repeatedly. White person. Catherine had heard that much from ranch hands. Two Hawks responded calmly but firmly, his voice never rising. An argument ensued, tense and rapid. Catherine understood none of the words but all of the meaning. They were debating what to do with her. The hostile elder pointed at Catherine, then at the tent entrance, making a clear throwing motion. Get rid of her. Two Hawks stepped between them, his body language unmistakable. No. The tension stretched until Catherine thought it might snap. Then Two Hawks said something final, something that made both elders stiffen. One spat on the ground and left. The other followed more slowly, shaking his head. Winona released the breath she'd been holding. Two Hawks turned to Catherine. He studied her for a long moment, her bruised face, her split lip, the finger-shaped marks darkening on her throat. His jaw tightened. He knelt beside her, moving slowly so as not to frighten her. When he spoke, his English was halting but clear. You are safe. Here. He touched his chest. Two Hawks. Then he gestured to Winona. My sister. Winona. Catherine's voice came out as a croak. Catherine. He repeated it carefully, the syllables strange in his mouth. Then he asked the question she'd been dreading. Who hurt you? Tears came before she could stop them. Not delicate tears, but great shaking sobs that tore through her damaged ribs. Winona moved closer, her hand on Catherine's shoulder, murmuring comfort in Lakota. Two Hawks waited, patient. When Catherine could finally speak, the words tumbled out. My husband, Thomas Garrett, his ranch, 5 miles south. He'll come for me. Her voice broke. He'll kill me. He'll kill anyone who helps me. Two Hawks' expression didn't change, but something cold flickered in his eyes. He will not touch you. You don't understand. He's powerful. He has men, guns. I understand. Two Hawks stood. You ran in blizzard. You chose death over him. He paused. That tells me everything. Before Catherine could respond, shouts erupted outside. Two Hawks moved to the entrance with startling speed. Through the open flap, Catherine glimpsed the winter camp. Dozens of high lodges arranged in a circle, smoke rising from cook fires, people gathering in alarm. A young warrior ran up, breathless, speaking urgently. Catherine called one word clearly. Garrett. Her blood turned to ice. Two Hawks barked orders. Men scattered. He turned back to Catherine, his face grim. White man come, looking for white woman. He met her eyes. I told my people you are under my protection. I do not break my word. Please, Catherine whispered. Just let me go. I'll run. I won't let him hurt you. Two Hawks almost smiled. You cannot walk. You cannot run. He gestured to Winona, who immediately began covering Catherine with additional furs, obscuring her from view. So you will trust me. He left before she could protest. Outside, she heard horses approaching. Thomas's voice rang out, arrogant and demanding, asking if anyone had seen a white woman. Catherine held her breath and waited for her world to end. Two Hawks walked out to meet the white men with 7 warriors at his back. Thomas Garrett sat astride a massive black stallion, flanked by 4 ranch hands armed with rifles. Even from beneath their furs, Catherine could hear the contempt in his voice as he addressed the Lakota chief. I'm looking for my wife, white woman, about this tall, brown hair. She ran off during the storm, probably half crazy from the cold by now. Two Hawks' response was measured. We found no white woman. That's so? Thomas's saddle creaked as he shifted his weight. Funny thing. My dogs tracked her scent straight toward this camp before the snow covered everything. You sure you haven't seen her? I am sure. The silence stretched taut as a bowstring. Catherine pressed her hand over her mouth, terrified her ragged breathing would give her away. Through a gap in the furs, she watched Winona's face, calm, unreadable, her hands continuing to grind corn as if armed men at their doorstep were nothing unusual. "I got rights," Thomas said, his voice hardening. "That woman is my legal wife. If you're hiding her, that's theft of property." Something dangerous entered Two Hawks' tone. "We do not steal what we do not want." One of Thomas's men snickered. Thomas silenced him with a look, then leaned forward in his saddle. "I'm going to search this camp." "No." The word was absolute. "The hell I won't. You are 5 men." Two Hawks gestured subtly. Catherine's heart jumped as she realized warriors had appeared from other lodges, materializing silently until Thomas and his men were surrounded by at least 20 armed Lakota. "We are many. You will leave." Now, for a terrifying moment, Catherine thought Thomas would pull his gun. His hand actually moved toward his holster. But even his arrogance had limits. He was outnumbered, outmaneuvered, and miles from help. "This isn't over," Thomas snarled. "I'll be back with the army. We'll see how brave you are then." "The army knows we keep the treaty," Two Hawks replied. "We hunt on our land. We make no war." "What you claim, you must prove." Thomas jerked his reins so hard his horse reared. "And I always get what's mine." He wheeled his horse and rode off, his men following. The Lakota warriors didn't move until the riders were small dots on the white horizon. Only then did Two Hawks return to the lodge. Catherine was shaking so violently that Winona had wrapped both arms around her. Two Hawks knelt down, his face serious. "He will come back," he said quietly, "with more men. Maybe soldiers. I have to leave." Catherine tried to push herself up. Pain lanced through her feet and she gasped. "I won't let you start a war over me." "Where will you go?" Two Hawks asked. "You cannot walk. You have no food, no horse, no weapon. Winter will kill you before you travel 10 miles. Better me dead then. Better you live." He said it with such finality that Catherine fell silent. "My people argue about you. Some say send you away, avoid trouble. Some say give you to white man, keep peace." He paused. "I say you are person, not property. You stay." Tears burned Catherine's eyes. "Why?" "You don't know me. I know you chose death over surrender." Two Hawks interrupted. "I know the marks on your throat. I know the fear in your eyes is not of us, but of him." His voice softened. "That is enough." Over the following days, as Catherine's body slowly healed, she learned the rhythms of the winter camp. Winona taught her words of Lakota: water, fire, food, thank you. Catherine helped where she could, her clumsy hands learning to scrape hides and mend clothing. The work was harder than anything at the ranch, but no one struck her when she made mistakes. The children were the first to warn to her. They'd peek around their mother's skirts, giggling at her strange appearance, her fumbling attempts at their language. One brave little girl brought her a doll made of corn husks. Catherine held it like it was made of gold, but the tension in the camp was palpable. Scouts reported that Garrett had indeed gone to Fort Meade, spinning stories about kidnapped white women and hostile Indians. The Army commander had told him he needed proof before mobilizing troops, but everyone knew Garrett wouldn't stop. 3 weeks after her arrival, Two Hawks came to Winona's lodge at sunset. He carried a bundle wrapped in soft deerskin. "You are healed enough to walk," he said to Catherine in his careful English. "Tomorrow we hold ceremony." Catherine's stomach dropped. "You're sending me away." No. For the first time, she saw him smile, a real smile that reached his eyes. "Tomorrow you receive name." "Lakota name? I don't understand." Winona spoke excitedly in Lakota, then tried in broken English. "Great honor. Chief give name. You become family. Tribe." Catherine stared at Two Hawks. "But I'm white. I'm not. I don't belong." "You ran into blizzard to escape death," Two Hawks said. "You fell, you rose again." He unwrapped the bundle, revealing a dress of soft buckskin decorated with intricate beadwork. "Tomorrow you rise again, with new name. New life." Catherine touched the dress with trembling fingers. The leather was softer than anything she'd ever worn. The beadwork a labor of hours, maybe days. "I can't accept this. It's too much." "It is gift from Winona," Two Hawks said. "From me." from people who see your strength. He met her eyes. Catherine is named from world that hurt you. Tomorrow you become someone new, someone who belongs to herself. That night, Catherine lay awake, watching firelight play across the lodge walls. Outside, someone was singing, a low, haunting melody that spoke of sorrow and survival. She thought about names, about identity, about the woman she'd been when she'd stepped off that train 6 months ago, hopeful and terrified, believing marriage would save her from poverty. That woman was dead, frozen in the snow where she'd fallen. Tomorrow, someone new would rise. The naming ceremony took place at dawn, when the world was caught between darkness and light. Catherine stood in the center of the camp circle, wrapped in the beaded dress, her feet in soft moccasins Winona had made. The entire tribe had gathered, men, women, children, even the elders who'd argued for her removal. Their faces were unreadable in the gray morning light. 2 hawks stood before her, dressed in ceremonial clothing she hadn't seen before. He spoke in Lakota, his voice carrying across the frozen ground. Though Catherine couldn't understand the words, she felt their weight, a prayer, a proclamation, a promise. He switched to English, his eyes locked on hers. You came to us broken. You could not stand. You could not walk. But you did not surrender. You fought to live. He paused. In our language, this strength has name. Najanake stands again. He placed his hand on her shoulder. From this day, you are Najanake. The woman you were is gone. This woman stands before us, and we will stand with her. Winona stepped forward, presented Catherine with a beautiful knife and a beaded sheath. For protection, she said in halting English, "You are sister now." Catherine's throat closed. She managed to whisper, "Thank you," first in English, then in the Lakota words Winona had taught her, Pivamaya. The ceremony ended with a feast, precious winter stores shared freely. As Catherine sat beside Winona, watching children play and listening to stories she couldn't yet understand, something inside her began to unknot. For the first time in longer than she could remember, she felt almost safe. But safety was an illusion. That afternoon, 2 hawks found her helping Winona prepare hides. He sat down across from them, his expression troubled. "I need to know everything about your husband," he said. "His ranch, his men, his weapons, how he thinks." Catherine's hand stilled. "Why?" "Because he will come, and I must know what we face." So Catherine told him everything. The mail-order bride advertisement promising a good Christian man seeking companionship. The reality, Thomas' first wife dead under mysterious circumstances. His second wife vanished without a trace. And Catherine, the third, too desperate to ask enough questions. She told him about the locked room in the cellar where Thomas kept his trophies, dresses from women who disappeared, jewelry, locks of hair. About the ranch hands who looked away when Thomas dragged her across the yard by her hair. About the night she tried to run before and he broken her arm in 3 places. 2 hawks listened without interrupting, but his jaw grew tighter with each revelation. "He has 12 men," Catherine continued, her voice mechanical. "All armed. Most are criminals hiding from the law. That's why they work for him. He pays well and asks no questions." She met 2 hawks' eyes. "He owns the sheriff, half the county council. The 4th commander goes to his house for dinner. And the army? They won't help you. Even if they believe you over him, they won't risk trouble with a wealthy rancher for," she couldn't finish, "for an Indian tribe protecting a white woman." 2 hawks was silent for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was careful. "Why did you not tell authorities? Show them your injuries?" "Once. The sheriff told me I must have fallen down the stairs. Told me Thomas was a good man, a pillar of the community. Told me if I made false accusations again, I'd be the one arrested for slander." Winona made a sound of disgust. "In white man's law," 2 hawks said slowly, "wife belongs to husband?" "Yes." Catherine's hands fisted in her lap. "Everything I own belongs to him. I can't testify against him in court. I can't own property. I can't even leave without his permission. The law sees me as," she swallowed hard, "as his property, like a horse or a cow." 2 hawks stood abruptly and walked to the lodge entrance. He stood there for a long moment, his back rigid. When he turned back, there was fire in his eyes. "Our law is different. Women choose their husbands. Women own lodges. horses, everything they make. Women divorce men by putting their things outside lodge. Men who beat women are shamed, cast out. He returned to sit across from her. Your law is not law, it is slavery. I know, Catherine whispered. Over the following week, the camp prepared. Not for war, Two Hawks was too wise for that, but for defense. Scouts ranged further. Watches were doubled. Weapons were checked and ready. Catherine learned more of Lakota, helped more with daily work, and tried not to think about what was coming. But in quiet moments, she felt Two Hawks watching her. Not with the hunger she learned to fear in men's eyes, but with something else, something that made her heart beat faster for entirely different reasons. One evening, as she carried water from the river, he fell into step beside her. You are different now, he observed. Stronger. I'm still afraid. Fear and strength are not enemies. Fear keeps us alive. Strength helps us act despite fear. He took one of the water skins from her. You had both in the blizzard. You have both now. They walked in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Catherine asked the question that had been building in her chest. Why did you really save me? You could have left me in the snow, avoided all this trouble. Two Hawks stopped. The setting sun painted the snow gold around them. 5 winters ago, white soldiers attacked the Cheyenne village under flag of peace, killed women, children, elders. My mother was visiting relatives there. She died trying to protect children who were not even hers. Catherine's breath caught. I could not save her. Two Hawks continued quietly. But I could save you. I will not become the thing I hate by leaving the helpless to die. Before Catherine could respond, the shout rang out from the camp. A scout was riding in hard, his horse lathered despite the cold. Two Hawks broke into a run. Catherine followed. The scout spoke rapidly in Lakota, gesturing south. Catherine caught one word clearly. Garrett. Two Hawks' face went hard as stone. He turned to Catherine, switching to English. He comes. With 20 men, they are half a day's ride away. The reckoning had arrived. The camp transformed within minutes. Children were hurried into lodges. Elders gathered sacred items. Warriors checked weapons with practiced efficiency. Rifles, bows, knives. Catherine stood frozen in the center of the activity until Winona gripped her arm. Come, we prepare. I should leave, Catherine said desperately. If I go to him, maybe. No. Two Hawks appeared beside them, his face carved from granite. He does not come to reclaim property. He comes to punish. You, me, all of us. Giving you to him changes nothing. You don't know that. I know men like him. Two Hawks' voice was cold. They destroy what they cannot control. Always. By nightfall, Garrett's camp was visible in the distance. 20 campfires burning like malevolent stars on the white prairie. Close enough to see. Close enough to intimidate. Two Hawks posted guards and ordered the cook fires extinguished. The camp waited in darkness. Catherine couldn't sleep. She sat beside Winona's fire, the knife at her belt a small comfort. Around midnight, Two Hawks entered. You should rest, he said. I can't. Catherine looked up at him. This is my fault. All of it. No. He sat down across from her. This is his fault. His choice. His violence. He paused. You made the only choice you could, to survive, and dragged you into it. I dragged myself. For the first time, something like humor touched his voice. I am stubborn. My sister tells me this often. Winona snorted from her sleeping furs but didn't open her eyes. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Catherine asked quietly, what happens tomorrow? He will demand you. I will refuse. He will threaten. I will not yield. Two Hawks met her eyes. What happens after depends on him. If he is smart, he will leave. If he is proud, he's proud, Catherine whispered. And he never forgives. Neither do I. At dawn, Garrett rode forward with 10 men, leaving the rest at his camp. Catherine watched from inside Winona's lodge, her heart hammering so hard she thought it might break her ribs. Thomas looked exactly as she remembered. Tall, handsome in a cold way, dressed in expensive clothes that marked his wealth. To anyone who didn't know him, he looked like respectability itself. Catherine knew the monster beneath. Two Hawks walked out to meet him with the same 7 warriors as before. But this time, Catherine noticed archers had positioned themselves on higher ground, hidden. Ready, Chief Two Hawks. Thomas's voice carried clearly in the cold air. I believe we have unfinished business. We have no business. My wife is here. I know it. My men have been watching your camp for 2 days. They've seen a white woman moving about. Thomas smiled. You lied to me. I told you we found no white woman. We found Najaneke, Lakota woman, under my protection. Thomas's smile vanished. You gave my property an Indian name? That's rich. He leaned forward in his saddle. Return Catherine Garrett to me right now, and we'll forget this misunderstanding. Keep her, and I'll ride to Fort Meade with 20 witnesses who will testify you kidnapped the white woman. Najaneke stays, by her choice. She doesn't get a choice. Thomas's control cracked, revealing the rage beneath. She's my wife, mine. I paid for her passage. I married her legal, and she belongs to me by law. Not by our law. Your law doesn't mean a damn thing. Thomas stood in his stirrups. I know you can hear me. Get out here right now, or I swear to God. You swear what? Two Hawks' voice cut like a blade. That you will beat her? You already did. That you will kill her? You already tried. She stepped closer. She chose death over you. That is all I need to know. Thomas's face flushed dark red. You arrogant savage. You think you could steal from me? I own half this territory. I have friends in Washington. One word from me and the army will wipe this pathetic camp off the map. Then speak your word. We will wait. The standoff stretched. Catherine could barely breathe. She knew that look on Thomas's face. He was past reason now, past calculation. He'd moved into the cold place where he did his worst damage. Last chance, Thomas said quietly. Give her to me, or I take her. Try. Thomas's hand dropped to his gun. Everything happened at once. Two Hawks' warriors raised their weapons. Garrett's men did the same. 20 guns pointed at 20 targets. One trigger pull away from massacre. And then a new voice rang out. Ode, Reedy, speaking in Lakota. Catherine's head whipped toward the sound. One of the elders who'd argued for her removal was walking forward, his hands raised. He was speaking rapidly, urgently, looking between Two Hawks and Thomas. Two Hawks' jaw clenched. He snapped something back, his voice sharp with warning. The elder ignored him. He pointed at Catherine's lodge, then at Thomas, then made a giving gesture. Catherine's blood turned to ice. He was offering to hand her over. Winona hears something vicious in Lakota, but the elder kept talking, and Catherine saw other tribal members nodding. The math was simple. One woman's life versus the safety of the entire tribe. She'd always known some would make that calculation. Thomas sensed the division. His smile returned. Sounds like someone's talking sense. Maybe you should listen to your elders, Chief. Two Hawks turned to face the elder. When he spoke, his voice carried across the entire camp. Catherine didn't understand all the words, but she understood the tone. Two Hawks was making a choice, drawing a line. The elder argued back. Other voices joined in. The tribe was fracturing before her eyes, and then Winona did something extraordinary. She threw open the lodge entrance, grabbed Catherine's hand, and pulled her out into the open. Before anyone could react, Winona positioned herself between Catherine and Thomas, a knife appearing in her hand. She spoke in broken English. Her words meant for everyone. This woman is sister. Anyone touch her, go through me first. One by one, other women joined her. Then young warriors, then children, standing with their mothers. The tribe wasn't fracturing, it was choosing. Thomas saw it too. His face went ugly with rage. You want to die for her? Fine. He drew his gun. In the morning, exploded into violence. The first shot came from Thomas's gun, aimed at Two Hawks. It never landed. Two Hawks moved like water, rolling left as the bullet carved air where he'd stood. His warriors returned fire instantly. Garrett's men scattered, diving for cover behind their horses, returning volleys that cracked through the frozen air. Catherine felt Winona pulling her back toward the lodge, but she planted her feet. Running was what the old Catherine would have done. Najaneke stands again, Stay. She pulled the knife from her belt. The battle was chaos. Gunfire. Shouting. Warriors with bows firing from cover. One of Garrett's men went down, then another. But Thomas's group had better weapons, more ammunition. The fight was turning into a siege. Through the smoke and confusion, Catherine saw Thomas. He dismounted, using his horse as a shield, reloading his revolver with practiced speed. His eyes were scanning the lodges, looking for her. Their gazes locked. Even across 50 yards, Catherine saw the promise in his face. He would burn the entire camp to find her. He would kill anyone who stood between them. This wouldn't end until one of them was dead. Something crystallized inside her. Cold, clear, final. She stepped into the open. "Catherine, no!" Winona screamed. But Catherine was already walking forward, knife in hand, moving toward the man who'd owned her, beaten her, nearly killed her. Around her, the shooting slowed as people realized what was happening. "Thomas!" Her voice rang out, stronger than she'd ever heard it. "Here I am." Thomas's face split into a terrible smile. He holstered his gun and drew a knife of his own, the same blade he'd used to threaten her 100 times, finally showing sense. "Come here, now. No. You come get me." His smile faltered. "What?" "You said I'm yours. You said I'm your property." Catherine's grip tightened on a knife. "So come claim me. Just you and me. No guns, no men. Let's see who's really stronger." Thomas laughed, a harsh, ugly sound. "You're challenging me? You couldn't fight off a kitten. I've broken you more times than I can count. You broke Catherine Garrett," she said quietly. "I'm not her anymore." Something flickered in Thomas's eyes. Uncertainty. Fear. He'd never seen her like this, standing tall, unafraid, looking at him like he was nothing. "One of us walks away," Catherine continued. "The other doesn't. You win, your men can leave with my body and the tribe keeps the peace. I win. You and your men ride out and never come back." Two Hawks stepped forward, speaking urgently in Lakota. Catherine understood enough to know he was forbidding this, offering to fight Thomas himself. She answered, in halting Lakota, then English. "This is my fight, my choice." She looked at Two Hawks. "You gave me my name, let me earn it." For a long moment, Two Hawks searched her face. Then, slowly, he nodded. Thomas sheathed his knife and pulled his gun instead. "You want to fight? Fine, but I'm not playing by your rules." An arrow sprouted from his shoulder before he could finish. Thomas screamed, the gun falling from his suddenly nerveless fingers. He spun to see Two Hawks lowering his bow. "Now," Two Hawks said coldly, "you are equal. Both have knives. Both have pain. Fight." Garrett's men started forward, but Two Hawks' warriors cut them off. This was between Catherine and Thomas now. The rest was theater. Thomas yanked the arrow out with a roar of agony, blood soaking his expensive coat. His face went white, then red with rage. "You're dead. All of you. I'll bring the whole damn army." "Stop talking," Catherine interrupted. "Fight or surrender." With a wordless bellow, Thomas charged. He was bigger, stronger, trained in violence, but he was also wounded, furious, and fighting someone he'd always seen as helpless prey. Catherine sidestepped his first slash, years of reading his movements letting her anticipate. She cut across his extended arm, opening a red line through his sleeve. Thomas howled and spun, slashing wildly. The blade nicked Catherine's shoulder, drawing first blood. Pain bloomed hot and sharp. But pain was an old companion. Pain was just information. They circled each other. Thomas was breathing hard, blood loss and altitude taking their toll. Catherine stayed light on her feet, watching, waiting. "I'll kill you slow," Thomas panicked. "I'll make you beg like you used to," Catherine struck. Not at him, but at his wounded shoulder, driving her knife into the arrow wound. Thomas shrieked and staggered. She pulled back, blood dripping from her blade. "I never begged," she said. "I survived." Thomas tried to rush her again, but his movements were sluggish now, his strength failing. Catherine dodged. Cut dodged again. She was faster, hungry, alive. The final moment came almost gently. Thomas lunged, overextended, his boots slipping on blood-stained snow. He went down hard. Catherine was on him instantly, knee on his chest, knife at his throat. Below her, Thomas Garrett looked up with something he'd never shown her before. "Terror. Please," he whispered. "Catherine, please. My name," she said softly, pressing the blade against his skin, "is Najin Ake. She could do it. End him." The tribe would support her. 2 hawks would help hide the body. Thomas Garrett could simply disappear into the prairie. One more mystery in a land full of them. But she spent 6 months under his control. She wouldn't let him make her a killer. Catherine stood. "Step back. Leave. Take your men. If you ever come back, I won't stop the next blade." Thomas scrambled up, clutching his wounds, his face a mask of humiliation and rage. He stumbled toward his horse. His men helped him mount, shooting murderous looks at the Lakota warriors. "This isn't over," Thomas managed through gritted teeth. "Yes," Catherine said, "it is." They rode away, defeated men limping into the gray dawn. 2 hawks appeared at Catherine's side as she watched them go. "You could have killed him." "I could have," she agreed. "But Najinake isn't defined by him anymore. She's defined by what she chooses." She looked at the chief who'd saved her life. "I chose mercy, and I chose to stay." 2 hawks smiled, rare and genuine. "Then we are fortunate. Najinake brings honor to her name." That evening, the tribe gathered again. This time there was no ceremony, just quiet acceptance. Catherine sat beside the fire, Winona braiding her hair in the Lakota style, children playing at her feet. She bore new scars, but they were hers, earned in standing, not inflicted in breaking. She had fallen in the snow, had nearly died in the cold. But she had risen, and she would never kneel again. The end.